Good afternoon and welcome. On behalf of the Am IUN Oral History Project, I, Faith Smith, have the honor of interviewing Araya Davis. Today is Wednesday, March 27th, and this is happening at 12 o'clock p.m. Araya, do I have your permission to record you for this interview?
Yes.
So let's start off by you telling us a little bit about yourself and how you grew up.
So I'm 21. I have a twin brother, and basically I grew up in Gary most of my life. Grew up on the east side. I kind of moved around all parts of Gary, but mainly kind of this area is where most of my memories is at.
Okay. Can you tell us about your childhood and your family experience?
My childhood was definitely interesting. For the first 6 years of my life, I lived with my bio mom, and then my dad got custody of us. And from there, we kind of moved from Maryville back to Gary, and then all around. But I think I've had a pretty decent childhood. I had a whole bunch of cousins I hang out with. Had a little friend group in middle school. I definitely was the shy kid, so I didn't really put myself out there too much, but I did have my select few that I mainly hung out with.
Even though you say you were shy, it seems like you had a lot of fun with like your cousins and other family members.
Yeah.
What types of activities do you remember that you liked to do when you were growing up?
So whenever my cousins would go over, especially my girl cousins, we would turn on Dream Girls and be like, "You be Effie, you be Dan." We just pick our parts and we just start singing. I'm talking top of our lungs, and then we'll be making choreography to the songs, or we'll just be outside. Like my stepmom family, they always hosted parties at our house, so all the cousins come up. We get the bouncy house outside. We got the basement to ourselves. We running in and out the house. You know, we running up and down the block, got our bikes, but we really just was just being kids for real. It was great. I missed that
Crazy.
time in my life.
We used to do that in my family too, the Dream Girls thing. So it seems like you're very passionate about singing. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I definitely want to become a musician. I want to sing. It's my biggest passion. I'm not passionate about anything else besides that. It's kind of like it's in my veins. I don't know. I like eat, sleep, breathe music. Like you'll never not catch me not listening to music or singing some song or thinking about this concept for this song I want to do or this album I want to make. Like I like literally music is my life, and I definitely want to make a career out of it.
So, with your passion for music, your family dynamic, how did that contribute to your education experience? What type of student were you throughout the years?
I was definitely a very academic student. I was A and B honor roll most of my like almost all of K through 12. Um, I got awards. I remember the first time I remember getting an award was like in elementary school. I had this trophy for being like, it was kind of like your mini valedictorian type thing. It was really cute, but that was like the first time I was like recognized for being such a good student. I just thought it was normal to just bring home A's and B's because my parents was like, you know, I was taught from a young age how important education is. So my dad especially was like, get good grades because it'll work out for you in the end because you're doing this for the long run. You're not just doing it just because you have to, just because we put you in school. You're doing this for you, So I always knew education was very, very important, and I tried my best to be like an A+ student. It definitely was difficult going towards high school, taking A&P classes, not A&P, AP classes, and try to get my honors. But it was, I don't know, I kind of like being a student. Kind of like bringing home A's and B's. It was, I don't know, I just feel like high school and middle school were easier. The good old days.
I agree. So with that advice that your dad gave you about kind of making school your own thing and taking on to it how you wanted to, what subjects did you take? What subjects did you like in school before you came to college? And were there any teachers that influenced you throughout your education career?
So my favorite subjects, I'll say in middle school was definitely math. simply because my math teacher, Miss Edmond at Banneker, she was like my grandma. She reminded me of my grandmother so much, and now she was the only reason why I like math.
Oh.
Like she was honestly like everybody's grandma. You know, she was definitely that caring figure there, so you know you had somebody in your corner. She had a really big influence on me because even when I was struggling, she was like, "You need help?" Like even if it wasn't her class in particular, she's like, "You need some help? Come to my office. We can do a little tutor session." You know, she actually started up a tutoring program after school, so she was definitely very influential on my perception of how educators should treat their students and the educators that actually care. And then in high school, my favorite subject was psychology. Absolutely love psychology. Psychology is one of my favorite subjects. I took a AP Psych, and it was just so interesting learning about how the brain works and all these little different parts and what role they play, and how if one is just a little wrong, it could change like the whole personality of a person. Like I remember this one case about this guy who wound up he worked a railroad job and he wound up getting impaled in the head with the pole,
Mm.
and he wound up surviving. But before that, everybody's like, he's the sweetest person. He'll give you the shirt off his back. You know, like he was just kind. And then after
Mm.
that, he just changed. Like he was
Wow.
very mean, dominating. You know, rude, disrespectful to the people that cared about him. And it's things like that fascinate me because it's like before the accident, he was just such a kind and loving person, and then after he was like a whole different person, like you didn't recognize. It's just stuff like that just really fascinated me. So psychology was definitely my favorite subject.
So, based on your favorite subject being psychology and your experiences throughout high school with classes and academics, how did that lead you to choose higher education as the path that you wanted to take?
So I wouldn't say it was those that made me choose higher education. It was always kind of instilled in me from middle school up. Go to college, go to college, go to college. So it was like I always knew I was going to college. I just needed to know what for, you know. So it wasn't really a hard decision to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to school. Like
Mm.
I always knew I was going to get a college degree. So it wasn't. Yeah.
So then, what brought you here to IUN?
Um, funny story. So I actually wanted to go to IUPUI.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
oh,
trying to go all the way out to Indianapolis, girl.
oh.
But I kept getting like emails and calls about like this groups program that they were trying to start out here. Like I had no idea what it was, but they calling my phone every other week. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? They're like, you should really come. Like, this is what we're offering. Like, we'll give you a
Mm.
scholarship. And I'm like, scholarship? I like that. So
Love a good scholarship,
I'm telling
okay?
you, girl. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me go to like the open house at IUN that's happening, see if this is really what I want to do. I went to the open house. I went to like different, like all around the school, like at the different programs they had. And the one that interested me the most was the nursing program. Like, I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. They had the simulation lab where
Hmm.
you had like a little baby and you can actually like hear the different type of heartbeats that they had, or not if different type of heartbeats, but also if there's like an obstruction in the lungs, you'll be able to hear the different type of
Oh, wow.
obstructions.
Okay.
And then they had this one where it was laying on the bed and it would just shoot up and scream. And I'm like, yo, this is wow. I gotta come here for this. This is crazy. I'm looking at my mom. I'm like, Ma, I'm coming here. I'm coming here. Like I'm gonna be a nurse. I'm gonna be a nurse. And that's kind of how I wanted to come to IUN.
So, with you deciding on being a nursing major, is what's that specific moment is what made you decide to be a major?
Oh, definitely. It was really like my whole thing was I just wanted to do the simulation labs. I was just like, when we gonna get to that? When we gonna get to the clinicals? When we gonna get to the fun stuff? But I knew I wanted to do some type of working with people
Hmm.
because I'm a very giving person. I like to help, like in any way I could. And my grandmother used to be a nurse, And I don't know, you just know when there's those moments where you just know, okay, I'm on the right path. That was kind of my moment. I felt like my grandmother was telling me, go ahead, baby. This your time. Go ahead, do it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be a nurse because I want to make the same impact that she had on her community with my community.
So if you look around, we are in one of the offices to your on-campus job in the archives. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience as a student worker and any clubs and organizations that you're involved in?
So I do work in the archives. I've been working in the archives since I think my second semester year. It's been almost a year and a half. Child, my God, it was just some time. But I absolutely love working in the archives. I wouldn't say I'm a nerdy person, but I'm definitely book smart over street smart. So when I found out that there's like a little section of the library just dedicated to like really old books or like any artifacts people can donate, I was like, I gotta go see what this is about. And the first week I was working here, I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be my work study for the rest of the time I'm here, because it's so much history and information here, and it's not just for IUN, but it's just like the whole city of Gary. And I was just so surprised. I'm like, I didn't know half the stuff I learned working here, and nobody talks about it. So I was like, you know what? The more I learn, the more I'm going to give this information out to people, because it should be known. Like, Todd Delaney, I got to meet him, which was an amazing experience. I've learned everything about him through the archives and everything that he donated here. And what he did, it's not well known. The only people who really know about it are those who were there at the time or just heard about it in passing. Like, nobody knows the impact he had on not just IUN, but IU as a whole. And I feel like stories like that need to be told, and that's really why I work here. And what was the other question?
It's about clubs and organizations, because I do know that you are a part of Orchestra Club.
Yes.
I've seen you floating around there. So tell me about that and how that actually helps you with your music.
So I've been in band since I was in sixth grade, and up until when I graduated high school, like, band was kind of like my little safe space. It was a way for me to express myself, and I love talking about it because I could talk for hours about this. I ain't gonna do that though, but I'm gonna just keep it short.
Okay.
Like, music is such a universal language, and I know everybody says that, but it really is. Like, when I heard like one of the first pieces I ever played in high school, we had to listen to it before we played it, and you could actually hear the composer change emotions throughout the song. Like, when the music would get higher, you could see it's very intense emotion. But then once it started getting softer, you feel okay, it's kind of mellowing out, or a very softer emotion. They're telling a story through music without having to say any words. And that was the most exciting part about it, because I talk, but not a lot, like, about certain things. So it's like being able to convey such emotion without having to say a single word was what really interested me. And when I found out they were doing Orchestra Club on campus, I was like, I have to be on it, because I have a whole flute and a guitar at home that I haven't touched in like months. And I like, band was my favorite class, like my absolute favorite class. If anybody asks me, what's your favorite band? You ain't got to finish the question. Band. I was in marching band, pep band, color guard, anything to do with music. I did solos. I volunteered to do stuff for the choir or any of the plays. Like anything involving music, I was going to be a part of it. So it was a no-brainer that I was going to join on campus for the orchestra club. And I'm also a part of a few other organizations like Black Student Union, My Sister's Keeper, Grandma's Club, which is just like a cute little club where you just knit stuff, like a crochet stuff. And I used to crochet a lot in middle school. Like, my art teacher was the one who got me into it, and I was like, I just loved it. I was like, I gotta do it. So I'm a part of a lot of things on campus, and I'm I'm trying not to be a part of too much, because knowing me, I'm going to do everything, but I don't got the time to do everything. But yeah.
Well, I can see that you're very passionate about music, very involved on campus. I can't wait till you have like your first concert.
Oh yeah, our concert is gonna be April 25th. Tickets are on sale now. $3 for student and staff. Go ahead, get that.
I know that's right. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview with me
Thank
today. Best of
you.
luck to you on your college journey and your life journey with your music.
Thank you.
Okay.